Recently, the team's executive appeared in the media during a pre-draft press conference, subtly revealing some insights into the team's approach to the event. This included the possibility of trading picks, the options being considered, and the target positions for each round. There's a lot to unpack, and we're going to break it all down. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, there will be a live mock draft in which the selections for the team will be made based on the information discussed. In this exercise, we'll work together to figure out who might be picked based on the recommendations presented. Following the team's decision-making process is always fascinating, and the draft order is already set. Feel free to note that we are officially 8 days away from the NFL draft. As you might expect, the first round is crucial. This is when the team is expected to make its most impactful selection. The third round also looks promising, as the team has 2 picks, and it will be interesting to see which positions are prioritized, given there are multiple needs to address with 9 total selections. The most obvious need is for an offensive tackle, a role where the team must find a potential starter, or at the very least, a reliable depth option. It's hard to imagine surviving a 17-game season relying solely on the current starter. Ideally, the player drafted at this position should be able to compete for a starting job, even if not seen as an immediate plug-and-play guy. There's also a need for an offensive guard, particularly at left guard, where there's a degree of instability. Adding a wide receiver within the first 3 rounds is also worth considering, as well as a defensive tackle, especially given concerns about the health of a key player. Additionally, there's been mention of interest in drafting a running back. The situation becomes even more interesting if this running back isn't seen as a projected starter. The left guard spot remains shaky, and there's also a clear need for a receiver in the early rounds. Defensive tackle health is a concern, and while the details are vague, there's already some buzz around adding a running back. As we speculate on potential draft directions, one quote stands out: "We definitely want to pick the best player available whenever we can." While this statement sounds straightforward, it raises questions. How do you determine the best player at any given moment? And how does that align with the team's broader strategy? Some positions may be bypassed if the team is already strong and there, or if the starter's presence makes it unnecessary to prioritize that area. Still, the idea of acquiring top-tier talent whenever possible is a principle most teams strive to follow, which only complicates the decision-making. Ultimately, the approach seems to be selecting the best player available, a strategy many franchises adopt. But the circumstances surrounding this team are different. Several key positions must be addressed in this draft, leading to some skepticism about this best player available philosophy. For example, if a particular quarterback rises to the top of the draft board, does that mean the team should use its 4th overall pick on him? That seems unnecessary since quarterback isn't a priority. This perspective amplifies concerns that selections may be made based solely on general rankings instead of targeting real roster needs. On the other hand, for a team drafting from a more advantageous position, such a strategy could be completely valid. Teams in different situations may benefit more from adding a talented player to develop over time. But for this team, picking near the top of the draft due to not making the Super Bowl, this philosophy exposes some glaring holes. The most effective strategy might be integrating a young, promising player into the roster and developing him over the next few years, especially for a team currently holding a top 5 pick. Missing the Super Bowl last season casts doubt on the current approach, which seems to have more weaknesses than strengths. I'm very curious to see what decision the team makes with the 4th pick. Will the focus be on the best overall player or simply the best player at a position of need? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the draft philosophy that prioritizes the best player available. Feel free to share whether you agree or disagree in the comments. I value your perspective. Additionally, it's worth considering whether this approach eliminates the possibility of trading down. If the only goal is to get the best player, does that rule out moving back a few spots to still get an elite prospect? This brings us to another key issue in the broader strategy. Let's say there's a standout offensive tackle available. Should the team use the 4th overall pick on him, even if someone else is more universally graded as the better player? Or should the team prioritize need and go for the top tackle? Regardless, There's also been discussion about targeting a left tackle, still a significant need, and I want to emphasize just how important that is. There are definitely tackles in this class who can make an immediate impact, and I believe both top options fall into that category. When you're drafting this high, the goal should be to find difference makers. That leads to the question, how will these choices align with the team's actual needs and the importance of key positions? I truly believe there are players in this draft capable of becoming starting left tackles, possibly as early as next week. But the strategy should still focus on selecting the best talent available when possible. I sincerely hope the front office approaches this with a strategic and thoughtful mindset. In recent years, the team hasn't always followed this principle, except in some obvious cases. There have been attempts to trade up or down that resulted in missing out on solid players. That trend raises the question, could they forego a trade because they don't see elite talent available at the 4th pick? Maybe they feel it's not worth trading down to 9th or 10th, or wherever they're considering. One thing I'd note about their overall draft strategy is that while some players may not rank in the top 5 overall, one of them truly stands out. I'm convinced he'll be there at the 4th pick. The uncertainty lies in whether the team is willing to make a trade to get him. If not, I'll have serious concerns which I'll explore further soon. On another note, there's also a recent partnership for ticket sales with a well-known company, giving fans a chance to secure seats for local games or major basketball events. It's been over 50 years since the city celebrated back-to-back titles. Fans now have a chance to witness something historic if the team wins it all this year. Personally, I prefer using this ticket service because I know I'm getting the best deal available for any event. Plus, the app allows you to preview your exact seat before you buy, so you know exactly what kind of view you'll have. Having confidence that you're getting the lowest price helps ensure you're well prepared for any event, and having a clear view of the venue before you purchase is great. It lets fans know exactly how close they'll be to the action. There are also last-minute deals that offer major savings on tickets for all kinds of events, which is perfect for anyone who tends to make plans at the last minute. If you're interested, downloading the app might be a smart move. It even offers a discount on your first purchase under certain conditions. Now back to the draft. The lingering question is whether the team will make a trade involving the 4th pick. Many would like to see that happen, especially since it could land on more than just one player. There are teams looking to move into that range, and they're likely watching closely. Comments about trade rumors suggest it's still too early to tell. These conversations usually heat up as we get closer to draft night. There seems to be a level of preparation and controlled messaging among the coaching staff, which may imply that discussions are still a bit premature. So far, I haven't heard a hard no, which is a good sign, but it's still typical coach speak, so we can't read too much into it. Still, I believe what really drives the decision on draft night will be who's actually available at pick 4. If certain players are off the board, the need to trade down becomes much greater, especially to pick up additional selections. But we'll only know that on draft night. If a couple of teams ahead of us make specific moves, we could find ourselves in a tough spot. It may be smarter to consider pick 9 and try to gather more draft capital. Still, with the 4th pick, there will be plenty of intriguing options. We won't know until Thursday night if Cleveland selects a particular player or if New York goes in another direction. If that happens, we could focus on the 9th pick, using that team's situation to still land a talented player while adding extra picks. But with pick 4, a lot of premium talent will still be available. Based on projections, the top 5 prospects in this draft include a defensive standout at number 1, a Heisman winner at number 2, a top defensive tackle from a respected program at 3, a standout wide receiver at 4, and a Heisman finalist running back at 5. At pick 4, if the top 2 are off the board, the running back might still be a serious option. If the team's strategy is truly to draft the best player available, that could mean targeting a standout running back. That leads me to reflect on the situation again. There has been stated interest in drafting a running back, though not specifically naming which one. The front office emphasized that the decision would depend on the player's talent and potential impact. His ability to play all three downs, catch passes, exploit defensive weaknesses, and essentially check all the boxes the team looks for. Even though this particular running back is widely considered one of the best in the class, things like position value and availability are extremely relevant, even if he's there at pick 4. I personally don't believe that would be the right move. The first round just doesn't feel like the right time to take a running back, especially with so many other pressing needs. He might rank 5th in terms of team needs. I believe it's simply too early in the draft to take someone who's more of a compact runner. Whether or not the goal is to draft a running back, that decision can wait. There are 2 third-round picks, so why not explore the options there? I'm not in favor of drafting this running back. Not because he lacks talent, but because the team has more urgent needs. If they approach this draft with a best player available mindset, then I wouldn't completely rule him out. And that might spark some excitement heading into next week. So I leave you with the question, should we take that running back? If you think yes, speak up. If not, let me know why. Personally, I'd pass. Even the team's biggest supporters might agree. So my vote is don't draft him. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'll be live tomorrow for a mock draft, so feel free to join the conversation. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The rumor mill is churning with whispers of one of the NFL's top cornerbacks, Patrick Surtain III, potentially making a major move to the New England Patriots. Fans and analysts alike have been speculating whether Bill Belichick's defensive genius will land a standout cornerback from the Denver Broncos. With Surtain's stellar rise in the NFL, this potential shift could send shockwaves through the league. Could he be the final piece to strengthen New England's defense? Let's break down what a move like this would mean for both teams and the player himself. Surtain has been a force to be reckoned with since entering the league, securing a Pro Bowl nod in 2023 and earning recognition as one of the most dominant cornerbacks in the NFL. The Broncos' defense, once a powerhouse, has seen a shift in leadership with the arrival of head coach Sean Payton. Despite some struggles in Denver's 2023 season, Surtain's individual performance was impeccable, with 69 combined tackles, 12 pass deflections, and a career-high performance that earned him Pro Bowl honors. Now, with a lucrative contract extension in place, it seems unlikely that the Broncos would easily part with their star player. But could a trade still happen? The prospect of Surtain joining a team with a storied defensive history like the Patriots is intriguing. For New England, the need for a shutdown corner is pressing. While Belichick has molded some of the league's best defenses in the past, the current roster is in need of an elite presence in the secondary. Adding Surtain would instantly improve the Patriots' defensive backfield, giving them a legitimate weapon to face off against some of the AFC's top passing offenses. Imagine Surtain locking down opponents' top wide receivers while the rest of the defense benefits from his coverage skills. The potential is enormous for New England to reclaim its defensive dominance, and Surtain could be the catalyst. However, the financial aspect of a potential trade or signing presents a challenge. Surtain's new 4-year, $96 million extension with Denver makes him the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. A hefty price tag for any team. For the Patriots, making a move for Surtain would require some strategic cap management, possibly restructuring deals and clearing space to bring in the coveted cornerback. But with Belichick's history of making bold moves to improve his roster, no one would be shocked if he found a way to make it work. At the end of the day, Surtain's potential move to the Patriots is more than just a rumor, it's a possibility. That could reshape the defensive landscape of the AFC. If the Patriots manage to land this top-tier cornerback, they could significantly strengthen their playoff hopes for the seasons ahead. As the 2024 NFL season progresses, all eyes will be on this developing story, with fans and pundits alike wondering if this high-profile transfer will become a reality. The question remains, will Patrick Surtain III be the next great player to join the New England Patriots? Only time will tell. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.